Cool. So thanks guys for joining. So what we are gonna do this week, the overall agenda would be we uh, will summarize whatever we have learned in the overall content. I think people are not able to find the link. Okay, just give me a second. I'll find out. As you opened from the link only, right? Or how was it like? You guys joined from the link only, right? Week 5. Or was there any challenge?
Earlier it was giving error, but then it started.
It started, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think the others have also joined. Cool. Great. As I mentioned, this week we are going to summarize whatever we have learned and then we'll go ahead and try to create some program that would just try to use all of the things that we have learned. We'll see how to build it. We'll go step by step and we'll put more focus on doing that today. So that we will put more focus on the actual usage of all of those things in a combined manner. So if we start, uh, the first week was more about the what is really a Python, and then we learned about variables, data types. We learned majorly about those things. Bigger ground, what is the next week? Second week, what all did we learn in the second week?
Operator,
Okay, we learned about operators,
conditional statement, if else, loop,
conditional statements, if, else, elif. So these three things we learned in terms of the conditional statement and conditional operators. We learned about like different operators, conditional, arithmetic, uh, and anything else, logical operators. So there's different things we learn. Where conditional operators are equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than. So all of those conditional parts, arithmetic was more of plus, minus, divide, um, modulus, and those different type of operators, and logical is like and or not kind of operators. And then there is a separate category which is also Boolean operators. Yeah, Boolean operators are more of the the binary related activities that we do
अरे
there.
टोरेंट ना पागल.
Okay, so what was else? We also learned about the conditional statements in the second week. So here we learned about if, else, elif. So we learned like okay how we can manage the branching within the code. Now what do I mean by branching? Branching is basically as it's like a flow diagram kind of a thing. We try to switch the logic in the program based on the input from the user. Whatever input the user is trying to give, based on this input, we try to give a direction to our program. That okay, if this condition matches, go here. If this condition matches, go here. Simple example would be like okay, now classroom, if student we are trying to evaluate his marks and then giving him a grade, it's like if he is between less than 40 percentage, we say fail. If it's greater than 40 and between 60, we say pass. If greater than 60, we say pass, and greater than 75 is a distinction, 90 merit. So based on the availability of information, we define what should be given as an outcome or where the next step of the program should go. So this conditional statement. These are the very core component of any programming language and very important. What else in the second week?
Loops. Hello.
Right? We learned about
Loops.
loops. Yes, we learned about loops. We uh, learned about for loop, while loop. Can someone tell me what is the difference between for and while? Yeah, guys, you can try it. There is nothing right and wrong. Uh, you can just give me one or two liners, like how they are different from each other. Okay. See, for is more used for iterating through a fixed set of sequence. Now, sequence is any kind of like array or list. We try to iterate through that till that whole array is exhausted. We go through that array one by one, one by one. That's what the for loop is used for. While loop is more of executed till the condition matches. Okay, till the condition matches executed, the moment that condition becomes false, you exit from that loop. That's how the while loops are. So for is more used in the data analytics related spaces, and while is used for like networking, file operations, or waiting for something to happen. It's like event-based activities. So for is for data and all, and while is for event-based activities where you identify an event, and based on the completion of that event, till that event is full, you keep on executing. The moment that event is false, you exit from the loop. We
Okay.
also learned about, yeah, was there something?
आयडिया खातर दिसतले लॅपटॉप पण बघता येईल हे असं नाही सर लॅपटॉपवर बसतो
Hello.
आणि आता इथे बसले तर ऐकू म्हणलं
Okay. So then we also saw the statements like how we can control the this loops in a way. For example, we learned about break, continue, and pass statements. Break was more for managing the loops, like when we want to exit out of the loop. Even if we say that, okay, this is the overall list or sequences, but sometimes if there are conditions where we just want to exit out of the loop. If there is some number or there is some error or there is some kind of invalid data, in any of those cases, we just want to skip out of the loop and continue further, or we want to search a number, you're going through that whole data one by one, and the moment you get that number, you exit. So these kind of situations we use break. Continue is to just skip certain elements out of your loop. You don't want to do any kind of operations for that iteration basically. So whatever is that iteration, if certain condition is there, you don't want to do any operation, you just want to skip. Pass was simply to create a placeholder. It doesn't have any logic in itself. It's just to say that, okay, there is some logic which is going to come here in the future. Currently, we do not have any logic, but in the future, we will add something more. So, pass, simple rule for pass is it is just as a placeholder. Because when you define some if for any kind of a condition, when you put colon and enter, like this, for example, if condition colon enter. So you cannot leave this like this. It cannot be left like this. So if you say that okay, I will do it later, then you can simply pass. See,
There, here.
questions.
काय जायचं होतं तुला पुण्याला?
Okay, so this is the week two content that we learned. Now let's go to the week three. Anybody know what was there in the week three? Guys, who can tell me what was there in the week three? Come on,
Se-
fast.
sequences.
Sequences. Good. We learned about sequences. Can you name the different sequences?
List,
List,
tuple,
tuple,
dictionary,
dictionaries,
and string.
strings. Very good. And there's one more which is missing here. Text. Okay, so these are the important sequences which are there. Like these are also treated as a data types within Python. These are not just the different sequences, but the basic data types like int, float, and bool. And on top of it, list, tuple, dictionary, strings, and sets. These are also treated as a data type, like basic data types within Python, because they are inbuilt as part of a basic the core Python. So they are the core data types which are there in the Python. So lists are used for storing dynamic data. You can add, remove, delete, modify. You can do all of it within the list. Doesn't have to be same data type. You can have multiple data types. But good practice to keep one type of data type. But if there are scenarios where you like to add different type of data type, that is fine. Tuples are immutable in nature, whereas tuples are mutable in, sorry, lists are mutable and tuples are immutable in nature. So immutability basically means you cannot make any modifications once that sequence is defined. What do you mean by that? Once you define certain sequence, like weekdays, or even let's say in a company, you have certain set of uh, programs or a certain set of products. So that list, you want to keep it fixed only in the case of there are changes. The changes will not be happening regularly, but mostly to the outside world, we want to keep that fixed. People should not change that sequence. You only can change it and reassign it, but others should not be able to change it. In those situations, tuples would be immutable are only useful when you want like a constant kind of operations where the data is going to be fixed. Okay, dictionaries are a key value pairs. It's like people, Java and all people, if you know, like it's also called as a hash. Okay, well, it's a key and value combination. In this, the index would be anything that is immutable. Any data type which is immutable in nature could be an index. But mostly we use int and string as indexes. Value can be of any data type. For dictionary, value can be of any data type, and it is used to like define a named uh, data type, like the key value pairs. It's a named index basically. You are using the key as a named index from the dictionary. Then there is the strings, which are the most widely used data types, I would say, on top of int and float. Strings is the most widely used. On top of int, float, and bold, string is most widely used because most of the operations that we do are related to the string, majority. So strings plays a very important role. We can define strings in single quote, double quote, triple quote, each having a different use cases. Sets are like the sets in our mathematical foundations. It's like the Venn diagram kind of thing where you have different sets of data. Each set is going to only contain a non-unique value. Even if you try to provide it a multiple repetitive value, it is only going to store a non-repetitive values. On top of it, set also allows intersect, union, differences, all these kind of operations. So one thing I also told you last time is the use of help function. Help function plays a very important role. Even if you are an expert, anybody who's an expert would still use help. So keep a good practice of using it, because what will happen is as you're using this help, it will allow you to immediately check what all functions are available. Even if you go for a new library which you don't know, you have an immediate practice of checking the help, seeing what all functions are available, and then trying to measure like okay what you have to use. Okay, every new library will have its own set of functions, modules, and a good practice to use help to identify what all it supports. Okay, so that was with respect to the week three. What is with week four? Please ask any questions if you have with this. Yeah, don't hesitate to ask any questions. Okay, what was this week four? Last week? You can tell me?
Lambda functions.
Yeah, good. Lambda functions. Yeah, that was the
Normal
next part.
nor,
But
no,
we learned
nor
first like
normal function.
normal functions. Then we went ahead with like lambda functions. Then
Error handling. Try exception.
we checked error handling, like try, except, okay, and then
Module. Import module.
we learned about different modules, the inbuilt Python modules. Any examples of what all modules we saw?
Import OS.
Yeah. One is OS, resources, tangent, path. These are like different. Uh, there are some more available as part of the basic Python, but these are some important ones like old Python. But now, like as the Python has grown a lot, the basic Python has a lot of more inbuilt modules also available. Okay, in advanced Python, we will also see like how do we create these modules, how do we build our own modules. So that is also something we will see further later on. We also learned about like not gone deep, but there are this library managers, Pip and Conda. Okay, and Pip and Conda will allow you to install any new library. So uh, within this console or the typical notebooks, you can run CMD command using this exclamation symbol. So, for example, pip install pandas, so like a data analytics library prepared on like this. So it will do the installation of that pandas library. So these are not inbuilt available modules within Python. So that's why we have to install them. So that's why like these are called as inbuilt. But using pip and conda, we can install external available libraries. And once we install it, we can simply do the import pandas. Showing an example. Okay, this got imported. So this is how we can do the import of also any new modules that we want to use. Python ecosystem is very large. There are thousands or even I would say lakhs of libraries available online that will help you to do different type of activities. Something that is already there in your mind would maybe already someone has implemented it and you can just utilize rather than coding that whole thing from the scratch. So one thing I would say is when you are learning, it is good to do the things by your own. But when you're actually solving some business problems, it is good to utilize what is already available because that's where you can see show your speed. Okay, but otherwise, if in reality don't try to implement things from scratch, the time of learning implementing things from scratch is very good. But while actually solving the real world projects, it is very important that you utilize all what is already available and save your time there. Any questions?
Hello. Yeah, I have one
Yeah,
question.
yeah, go on.
Uh, yeah, import. We are importing. This is called as module, right? This Panda and Map and OS.
Modules or
So
library, you can call them.
yeah, library or module. So
Yeah, right.
these are few of the existing or internal modules of Python. So if we want
That's
to
the
create
thing there.
our if we want to create a user defined module and use it, so how do we do that? Means how to uh, create our own library, setup library. Uh,
Yeah. So that's what I said, like that we will be able to learn further in the advanced Python session. But just to give you a brief, uh, like this is a notebook based environment.
okay.
Okay, we call it a notebook environment. But with modules, we have to create multiple py files. There we need to have multiple py files to break our logic into different py files. Okay. And once we break our logic into multiple py files, just to show you a simple example, uh, yeah. What this will do is this will create a new file called as sample.py. So this is ls
এটা পড়ে যাবে খালি বোতামটা লাগিয়ে আনবার আছে কতবার বলবো এটা
उसका भी sorry.
and we have this difficulties in yeah. How is that to say? Very good. Typically, we have this like if I showed similar to pit, there is this pit file module. Example, show file filing. Okay, now we have the sample available. So once you have the sample.py, you can say from sample code details. Okay, this is how now they are able to details Python. Yeah, so you see that this Python got printed from inside the sample.py and this name got printed here. So this is a very simple way to create a local module, but we can create hierarchies, multiple folder structures. Like we try to break the whole code into small chunks. For example, if you're creating a employee management system, you may have a certain folder to only deal with employees. You may have certain folders to deal with employers. You may have certain folders for projects, and like you may have different files, py files, projects, all of it together, and then you import those and you utilize those like this. Okay, this is a simple example. With me? Questions? I'll, yeah, so those are the basic inbuilt libraries. We can also install external modules and we can also create our own modules. So this is just a very basic example, but more complex modules can also be created here. So I think that summarizes what all we have learned. And we also looked at the file operation. So this is the file operation. So within file operations, we saw how we can create files, type to files, append to files, and read from files. Okay, these are two examples which we saw. You can read, so there are like different operations or modes available for file operations. There is R for read, W for write, A for append. So these are like some common uh, modes available for dealing with the files. Okay. Now the next step, let's go ahead and we will see like one example. We will take one use case now.
You are not audible.
Hello, I'm audible now. Guys, I'm audible. I'm audible now.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do next is we will go through one program. Okay, this kind of program we already done earlier, but we'll try to go very deeper into that now and try to utilize all of the things that we have learned till now. So this is going to be again a word counter program. Okay, but now what we'll do is we will be creating our own file. Okay, we will I'll like give you a file. A file first we will save it. There's some background noise I'm waiting. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a file that we first need to store in our system there. Stored locally means in the system. Then create a function to read the file and only keep words which are alphabetic. Okay, this is going to be one function. And there is going to be another function which will just be creating a counter. Create a counter on the text. So first function is going to read the content of your file and then only keep words which are alphabetics. We can also separate this as a separate function. Then the next is going to create a counter on this function. Okay, while we will read it and we will also dump it back to the start to the file. Okay, like these are the three operations. Even we can split this as a separate function. Okay, dump it back to the file. These are the things which we will use. So here we have to be uh, managing all the exceptions and creating functions and also using string and list based functionalities to go through the content and also the dictionary to store the word counts. And then at the end, all of this we are going to write back to the file. Okay. So to all of them, I would suggest that you start your kernels. Mostly try to do it from the editor that we have so that I can check your code. If you face any challenges, then we will see. But you can start using the code editor that we have and let me know if you face any challenges. I would say you guys can all start your kernels. Okay, so all of you can start your kernels and then we will go one by one. So what we're going to do is I'll share one file which okay. Till that guy the point, guys, please start your kernels. And I'll give you the file which we need to use. There I see the Suyash and Chetan. You guys can also start your kernels, I would say. I think Pravas has started his kernel. He's already set up. Can others? Yeah, I think Chetan has also started. Suyash, you there?
Yes,
You
Yes,
can.
sir.
yeah, I have created start kernel. Clicked on start
Okay.
kernel. Yeah.
I
Okay.
was
Good.
also start the kernel.
I think yeah, for you it has already started. Good. So what we can do now as the next step is, see, I'm sharing this link in a chat. See, this link, what we need to do is there's a command. So let me just show you that command to get. Once we do that, this file will be stored in our disk, and we can do ls control. So I see that this file is present in my directory. So I'll share also this command to you over the chat. So I've shared this command to you over the chat. What I would suggest is you guys run this and check this ls command also. So you get to see whether the file is already stored or not. Okay, once done, let me know.
We need to run this on the kernel.
Yes, from the kernel, try to run it. The statement that I've given, right? Like the same way that I've done right now. So just put it, select, and run. Let me know if you can copy paste it. No need to type it because it's a big statement. So I put it in the chat already. So put the exclamation also. Important to put the exclamation. Wget exclamation whole thing. You see this wget exclamation. This whole thing should be there. As I feel like you guys are only adding the statement there. Yeah. Select and run. And then also do the ls command. Yes, which I only see that you put W. So that's a W that you can put whole thing. Hmm. Chetan, you are not trying.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Ah,
facing an issue.
no, I was not there for last 2 weeks, so I can't.
That's fine. But as we are going to do it from the scratch, so you can just follow like as we are going ahead. So what you can do, you can copy this line that I put in the comments and run it and check it.
I have to copy on kernel side, ka?
Right. You have to copy and paste it within the kernel like I'm done. So I
Okay,
put it here, right?
okay.
In the same way, and then select and run code. Okay. So if you want, like I'll show you, what you have to do is you have to do this. Select like this, and the run code. In the button, right? Run code. You do this, this file is available to you. And then you can do this, and you will see that this Shakespeare.txt is present in your
Yes,
system now.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So yes, you're facing challenges.
I
It's
don't,
the yeah,
I can't understand how to create a function to read the file.
yeah. That we will do step by step now.
Okay, sir.
We will run that one by one. If you're not able to, then I will also be doing that one by one.
Okay.
Okay. So I think all of you have now got this file. Great. So next step, see, let's just try to open the file and see the content. Okay. To do that, we will just check what we can do is just for now, file is equal to, rather than file, we will say text is equal to open. We'll put the name of the file, that is shakespeare.php. The mode we have to keep it is R, and then say read. Okay. So this is open Shakespeare file name. The mode is read, and then we use the read command to get the content. So I run this. Okay, this command got executed. So text, as I say, it's a slightly big text. So what we can do is we can just check at the 100 characters first. This is how the 100 characters at the first looks like. All of you can do this. Yeah, so you can follow as I'm doing it, guys. So yes, you guys can follow.
Yes.
Let me know if you guys are doing it separately or in the session, because I'm looking at the session here right now. So if you do it separately, I won't be able to see what you're doing. So you're able to copy things or understand what is going on. Okay. Uh, yeah. So what we're doing is, like, first is we are trying to read this content. So this will allow us to understand, like, there is this content available. So same thing we will now convert into a function. So as per our steps, if you guys are copying, just have it a look. Okay. I think she will also done. Just run and see the text, then we'll move on. Okay, good. So you both are done. So the next step, see, what we'll do is we'll create a function, read file and path. So this will do some basic cleaning also. So what we will do is the same thing. Let's keep it inside a function, and this thing we will replace it with a variable path. Okay? We will replace it with the variable path, and then as the next step, what we will do is text. This happened. We will also lower it, text dot lower, so that all the content is lowered. Okay. And then as a next step, what we can also do is we can replace any kind of lines inside the text. These are some basic cleaning stuff that we do because these new lines will also be counted inside your characters or the words. So we can also do text is equal to text dot replace new line with blank. So the new line would be removed. For example, you see that this is a new line. So what will happen is this whole thing will be treated as a single word, which we don't want. On top of it, we can also do some more cleaning stuff. Like we can remove this commas and we can also remove this decimals. So these are some very basic stuff that we can remove from our content. Okay, so you guys can do this. Chetan, you're able to follow?
हेलो।
Yeah, you're able to follow?
नो सर, एक्चुअली वो कोड वाला जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, वो ओपन नहीं हो रहा है साइड वाला।
Side वाला, code वाला open here. Okay.
एक साथ
So
नहीं
Chitra,
दिख
like,
रहा वो
can you
दोनों,
help?
एडमिन पैनल और ये पैनल दोनों साथ में नहीं दिख रहे।
Wait. So Chitra, will you be able to help? Yeah. So Chitra, like, so Chitra will help you. Not able to see my screen. Is the case with everyone?
Sorry, sir.
No, someone said that the screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
It it is visible, but both are not at a time are visible.
Okay. See the fashion that I'm putting? Modular code editor. Okay. Good. So, so code editor is visible to you. And you also have your presentation also visible to you, right?
Yes, but first I have to read this all admin file, then write on the other side.
Yeah, you're able to read the screen, right? The presented
Yes,
screen.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so what you have to do is see, this is how you can like define a function. You have to type it by yourself.
Okay, sir.
Between, you have to type it here by yourself and then run the code. Okay. Uh, yeah. Well, number one. Okay. So the next is what we will do is as we have done some cleaning to the file. The next part is like we have done the reading of the file, doing some cleaning. Now we'll create a new function that is only going to keep like alphanumeric words. Okay. This function would be get alpha words. This is going to take input the text. So what is going to happen here is we will first split the whole text into the words. words is equal to text dot split space. By default, it is the space, but still we can specify it sometimes. Now, what we really want to do is we want to keep only the words which are of alphanumeric form. So, to do that, we will create words alpha equal to a new list. Okay, so this new list for word in words, then going to a for loop, will do an if condition to see if this word is alpha. So this will return true or false. And then what we'll do is words alpha dot append this words. Okay, so what we're doing is we are first splitting this text, then we are creating a list, and then we are looping through words, and then we're checking if the words are in alpha. And then we are also adding it, appending it to the words. If it is like containing any one single numeric text, it will ignore it and we will not get it. If it is purely alphabetic, then only it will add it here. So at the end, we say return words alpha. So we have defined two different functions. We will also do error handling and all to this in some time. But first is this basic stuff, which is reading the file and then getting only the alphabetic words. Okay. The power should be able to work. That's yeah. So you guys can copy the content that I have here. Okay. You have okay. So so what we're doing is good. Chetan also Pravas is doing good. So for Chetan, what I'll do is I'll just help you with the previously created function. Okay. Just you may replace some part that you have. I'm just giving the function that I already have, and you can add the function which is visible to you on the screen now with this one. For now, for the reference, I'll also give you the second one. Okay, but just have a look and understand what is happening. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing is create a counter on the text. We have got the one, but let's now before going to the third function, let's first run through these two functions and see if we are able to get the expected outcome or not. So what we will do is let's first run the first function. So text is equal to read file. This is the function which we have, and we have to pass it the path. So path is again this Shakespeare TXT and in the read mode. Sorry, read mode is not required here because this is the input. Inside that we are already doing that read mode. So we pass it and then just do text 200. There is an error. Why is there error? Because we have not run this function yet. So we have to select these two functions, run, so that those will be defined, and then we uh, there is a problem. We defined this text, but we did not return it. Okay, return text. So let's return text. Now we will be able to see the return value. It was giving an error if you see that it's saying none type answer because the return was coming as none, and then we were going ahead, and that created a challenge. So now I see that there are just 200 lines, everything is lowered, but there are still some special characters and all which are there. Okay, there are some even better ways to manage it. We can use some regex or even Python provides space-based characters and special characters. We can ignore all of them. So there are different approaches which are available. Okay, but right now I will go with this basic one. So we have our text ready. As a next step, what we will do is we will use this get alpha words. This get alpha words is equal to, we'll pass this text. I run this function and here I'm going to check this words, but rather than getting like all the words, we'll only see the 100 words. You see all of these 100 words are available here. Oh, there is some problem. Let's see, because this is creating a list of lists. So this list of list is not right. See, there is a challenge. What we did is we appended the words rather than the word. So we got every time words added to the list. So what we need to do is we need to remove this else and redefine. So I'll complete this much part and then again I'll allow you to continue writing with me. So we will again execute this and check this 100 words. Now we see this is being a single list and all the outcomes are visible. It is not very big list. Now this is only small list with 100 words. Okay, two things are done. So you guys can also do this. Okay, define these two functions and run through it. Yeah, I think that's good. Chetan, you're able to type, but you're not running certain things. You also have to run them. Yeah, I think just kernel is starting, so you can run that after that. Wait, wait, was the session restarted? You guys were out and rejoined? First, Chetan?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, sir. Server is starting. Sorry, kernel is starting still. Now it
Okay,
started.
yeah, you can run the thing. Okay, good. So, Suchita, I think Suchita has been. Okay, yeah. So, Chetan, like you can run the things.
Yes, sir. I am running the code.
Good, good. So you're able to see the outcome also. That's nice. Okay, the house is also doing good. Uh, yeah. So, Chetan, you're good now?
Sorry, sir.
You're done?
Yes, but output is like not like that.
Okay, so just give me a second. So you did run this. See, first we have to run the functions. So the read functions we ran, then second is the get alpha word functions we ran, and this read file, right? Read file has to
Right.
get this thing here. Okay, so then this text would be available, but you got some error. I think so the Shakespeare file name is not right. So this file, it is a file where you restarted, right? So kernel restarted, that's why you have to also run this first two lines at the very top. This first two lines once you run, then the file becomes available. And now I can run this text. I have you should run this. Yeah, you will check this return text, and also this is supposed to be only word.
Words. Okay.
Yes. So words I replaced it to word.
Okay.
Okay, now you have it, and now if you run this first function, you will get the outcome as you see right now, and then now you try to run the second function and store it as words. Okay, you run this thing now. The name of the function is not right. You have to check the name of the second function and use that in the same way. Lord, just give us a second. Once Chetan is on the setup, we will continue. This is the function I'm saying. So this name above, we have to use here. And here, like this is not required, you have to use the text in this case. Okay, now we run it, and if you see the words, uh, yeah, we didn't return here, so we have to return
Word.
word alpha, word alpha, we in which we are storing all the output, and then here we have to get the okay, we have to rerun this again, and then okay, just a second. Uh, so this is the words. Okay, so this is going to be your words, word alpha, and here you are going to okay, yeah, words, and this word alpha is going to be here, and you're going to return this. So there are some spelling mistakes which We should go to now. Here, okay, still return value, world alpha,
Get word,
world alpha.
get alpha word. Is there any words?
Yeah, so this is the words you have. Okay, and this is the if word dot is alpha, word alpha dot append word, and then let me do one thing here.
Yes.
I'll just give you my function. I have put my function. Now we can run this and check this. Okay, now you see these words.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
good. So let's move ahead now. So as a next step, now we have out of these two things, out of all of these things, we have this first thing done, second thing done, and also the third thing done. So next step, we need to now create a counter on all of this. So counter is for that we can use a dictionary. Okay, so we can use a dictionary which will be like, so let's create a function. So this function, what it will do is define word counter, and to this we will provide this words as an input, and we will say that counter is equal to, we will define a dictionary. Okay. This will be a dictionary, and within the dictionary, what we will do is for word in words, okay, we have to say counter, and here it will be word. So what is happening is the key is going to be your word, and value is going to be the sum. And if there is already some value present, now it's all within dictionary. There is this function get. Okay, get has this benefit which says that okay, if this key is available, then return me the value from the key. But if it's not available, then return a zero. Otherwise, it will give an error. If
हेलो
that key is
सर.
not, yeah, hello.
हाँ, एडमिन पैनल नहीं दिख रहा मैम सर.
I mean, it's the video, right? You're not able to see the video.
Yes sir.
Okay, I think today people are facing an issue. Can you refresh and try again? When they say admin, Pravas, you facing any issue? Same thing.
No, I am not able to see.
Some people are facing issue with the screens. I don't know what will happen. Let's wait for 1 minute. Okay, I think Robert is facing issue. I'll put the recording, so we'll continue. So, as a next step, the counter word which we have here, the counter dot get is part of the dictionary function. So, with the dictionary, we are passing the word and then passing the zero. If that key itself is not available, return zero. If key is available, return whatever is already there in the key. We will also do the plus one, so that if that word is already available and we just try to add one to whatever is already the count of that word. Okay, so with this, we will be able to get the count. So we return the counter. Okay, so at the base level, we have got this three functions. So one more last function we will define is write counts. We pass in the counter. What we will do is we'll also take the output file path where we want to output path where we want to write the content. So here, out file is equal to open output path comma write. We got the object for the file. Now what we need to do is it's a dictionary. So we don't want to write in the form of a dictionary based object, but yeah, so what we can do now is for word comma count in counter dot items. Okay, for word comma count in counter dot items. Items will give a tuple based outcome for every key value pair, and this will break that into two different variables. When this is available, we will do is out file dot write. Here we will create a formatted string, and within that we will have word space. Let's say this thing, and we will say count. And then we also have to add the new line. So that next word will go into the further line. When this is done, we will say out file dot close. Okay. So as a next step, let's run the counter. So this word counter, I will do this word counter. So we will get the output as counter equal to word counter and this words. We're taking words as the input. So we are passing the words as the outcome. Okay, and then what we will do is counter is equal to word counter. That's it. Let's run it and see the outcome. Run. Okay, we got error because we have not defined the function. I defined the function. We run this code again, and we see that counter. This will be a big thing. So as you see, we have now got the count. Okay, we see the whole count. So one more thing is if you want to sort it. So there is a thing called a sorted. Let me see if I'm able to do it right. Lambda. To this we have to give a function x. mm, Just a second. Yeah. So to do this, let me just have a look. This will sorted. So there is a function called as sorted actually by key, by value. Okay? So this has like a very simple structure. Okay, this is how it is. So it will take x dot items as the input, key and item 1. Let's have this done. So the first is going to be the items. lambda x, and we are saying x1 out of that. And we can say ascending as a different. Just let's first run it and see what will be the outcome. Sorted expected, this is going to be a key difference. Okay, now we see that it is giving these numbers. We just need to do is reverse is equal to 2. So that a bigger count would come first. Yeah, so now see that the and I2 of these are coming at the top. So let's store this as a sorted counter. Okay, so this will be our sorted counter. We run it. And now we will pass this to the right count. This right count will take this sorted counter as an input. What we will now do here is write counts and the file path output counter.txt. So let's do this and let's see if there are any errors. We see that write counts is not defined. So we will just run this and run this. There is still an error. List object has no attributes item. It says list object is what we are passing. So word, it's a counter we are passing, and this counter is being treated as a list because maybe we have this thing as a list. Yeah, this thing got actually converted to a tuple, list of tuple, right? The data type has got changed. So to deal with this, what we can do is, as this is a list of tuple, it's still a list. Everything is a list. So one thing that will change is we'll just remove this item because it is related to the dictionary. But word and count, these two things. So here what we will do is we will just keep it as a word, and then we'll say word 0 because that is the first argument, and this is going to be the second argument. Now let's run this and see if we can run this now. It got executed. So just to check if the new file is created, we can do this ls, and there is an output counter.txt. Now in terms of CMD, we can check the content of the file using cat command. So output counter.txt. If we run this, we didn't get any outcome. Okay, yeah. So here is the outcome we got. After running the cat, we see that this is how the file has been returned. Okay, we have given this format here. That's why, based on this format, we are able to see that the file is able to be returned in the same format. Okay, so this is how like we are able to uh, use all of the different functions together. Passing is like a pipeline. As you can see, it's a simple pipeline where we are passing things one by one by one. The input to this, output to this, output goes to the next function, and output comes. Breaking these things into smaller functions is very important because it makes things easier at the future level. Okay, so that is the main important crux for this. So as I said, some more things which we can add to this function is we can here add try catch. So I'll show you like what kind of errors we can get. If I change this file name, okay, it gives me an error which is file not found error. So to handle this, we can add try block here, except this thing as we print e, so that this will give not the exception but a proper message. I'll run this, and if you check this, yeah, it will still try to access. So what we need to do is once we get the exception, we just need to return return from that file. So as it was creating an exception and then going further and checking that this variable itself is not available. That's why we have to return so that this function will come out. Run code, and if we run this thing now, what will happen is we see that there is a proper exception which says no such file or directory shakespeare.txt. Okay, so this is how like exceptions, lists, tuple, strings, functions, all of those things we can club together to create some kind of an outcome. So even we see that if we can read content from the file, we can process it and even output these files to a file map. Okay, that's how we can manage this whole thing. Uh, I hope Pravas, you are able to code these things together with me. That's great. I think Pravas will be able to code together. Stefan, I think you are out. Stefan, are you able to see the both things, right? Stefan, you're able to see the whole thing now? Okay, fine. So, like this is the overall program that we did now to just club together all the things which we have learned. See, this would be our last session in the basic Python thing. We will start again further next level of courses. And we will in the further again like some weeks again back, we'll again start the AWS basics session again. For any other people who have left it, we'll again start these live sessions for other people. But now Python has a very large and wide scope. People who know Python have like multiple career paths. So in terms of career path, I would say web developers like use of Django and being very important. Web developers, API developers like Flask, Fast API, these are the libraries I'm talking about. So web developers and API developers, web or API, I would say. There's like a one very big um, market or career path, I would say. Together with this, if you add React, Angular, those kind of skills, you will be able to convert yourself into full stack developer. That is one career path. Second career path is data engineering. Python plays a very important role in terms of data engineering, where data processing, data analytics, ETL jobs, all those things can be done. There are different libraries like Pandas is highly used. Spark again, like PySpark is also a separate library. And other data engineering modules like Airflow and all also provide Python-based APIs to use. So here also like you have a very good edge, NumPy, PySpark, Airflow, all of these different libraries provides usage of Python to create like ETL jobs. Mostly like ETL based jobs are created in the data engineering space. It's a wide scope, but programming Python is a very important role there. And there are like machine learning engineering. So in machine learning, like there's the scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is an important library. Again, pandas and numpy plays a very important role. Okay, and matplotlib and Cmon. These are all like important libraries which are present there in terms of the machine learning library, where I think Python has a very big 80 to 90% of the space is taken by Python in this case. Even like AI or deep learning, TensorFlow, PyTorch, all of these are developed with Python and focused toward Python. So here also you will see a good usage of Python. And then there is an MLOps. This is a parallel career option which is developing now for people who are like a mix of data engineers and machine learning engineers and the DevOps. It's a role that is a combination of multiple things, but more focused toward ML-based projects. So here also like Python-based utility plays important role. Learning and knowledge of Python is very important. Cloud is also a big career path where developing things through Python has a lot of advantage. Like for example, AWS comes with CDK. CDK is like a cloud development kit. This using cloud development kit like multiple languages are there, but using Python we use CDK a lot, and we develop AWS infrastructure automations through it, and Python is poorly used in that. And even as we discussed in the first session, Python is taking a very good leap in terms of um, usage. Okay, it's just leaving behind all the programming languages, and it is just going to take the first place. JavaScript and Python are two very important languages right now in the industry. On top of it, like IoT, testing, all of this also plays an important role where people are able to create their careers. So I would say these are some very important career paths that you can take if you know Python. Okay, but all of them has a different uh, trajectory. Like web developers and API developers are combined together. Data engineers are different. Machine learning and AI plays a role bit together. MLOps has um, different, slightly different, but a good overlap with this. Three things have a good overlap. Cloud is again a complete different trajectory. IoT, testing, these are like two again different trajectories. That's how I would say Python is growing, and even the usage of Python is going to go a lot over the futures. Okay. Any questions? Cool, guys. I think that we are trying to improve this platform much so that the goal is to have a good hands-on coding together so that you guys can work together with me, and we can also handhold you and create a similar type of an environment like classroom trainings. Because in classroom trainings we can do all of these things together, hands-on together, which doesn't happen over online. So that's why I wanted to create this. But there are some challenges that we are facing right now, but we will solve those over the future and create something that will be more useful to the overall community. That is the overall goal. But with that, I think we will close this first batch and we will go toward the further batch over the future. Yeah, if no questions, we will stop the session.
Sure, Rishikesh, you have created this interpreters from the Python interpreter, or it's a
Yes.
library you have taken?
No, we have created completely from the scratch.
Okay, and this website is in React.
In React, yes.
Okay, and there are some challenges like when we are zooming it. So suppose we are zooming the video part, then it's not zoom out. It's basically zooming in. And when
Okay.
there is text in the say output uh, in the interpreter side, so this video is it's only the 10% it's covering, and
Okay. When
rest
the
90.
width of the output,
Yeah,
the width of the output is growing, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, 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 got it. about it. I think those are very good inputs, Dhawan.
Yeah, and we can't max that video sets. Suppose we are not doing with the interpreter, then the
You can
video.
double click it. If you double click it, the window will automatically go 100%.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to provide some options at the top itself where
Mm.
it's possible that you can only keep the code editor or you can only keep the video
Yeah.
or you will change the size of the screen manually. For example, like if you say that you want video to be 25% and code to be 75 or code to be 25 and video to be 75. So those kind of options also
Mhm.
we will provide till the next batch. Do you think that would help?
Yeah, I think this is good one. Maybe some improvements are required, but you can take
Yeah,
it step by step. Yeah.
right, right. But the overall goal is to create a handholding wherever possible.
Yeah, yeah, understood.
Yeah. But any other feedbacks, please. I'm very happy to incorporate those.
Yes, sure. Yeah,
Fine.
that's
Thanks
it
a
from
lot.
my side. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Great, great. Okay. Cool, guys. So we will again go into the next session. So, Pravas, I would expect you also to be available there. Uh,
Yeah.
yes. Thanks a lot, guys. Then
Okay,
have
thank
a
you.
good time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.